Hello and welcome back to Motoring Madness here on Coronium Radio. I am George Lunn and I am joined again by my good friend and fellow motoring enthusiast David Lipson.
Oh, cheers, man. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Anytime. We are coming at you from Coronium Radio and the VW Surfwagon YouTube channel. As usual, we are going to talk cars and more cars today.
Can we fit some cars in there too?
I think we might just have time to do that, yeah. Great, okay. And we're going to kick it straight off with something that's been in the news quite a lot recently in terms of, well, okay, it's not on like BBC News, but on like car news front. The new Toyota Supra,
very exciting,
has been fully announced, available for pre-order, and yeah, who wants one?
I do.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good looking car.
It looks awesome. It's very
great.
cool. I quite like that they've still got elements of the old one in there.
Yep.
Which is good. I like that.
I mean, the old one, the old one is a classic. I think it's got a certain image, but I think you just have to accept it's now a classic. It did the whole Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah. It's a classic Japanese racing.
It is.
Like,
it's just sick.
Cool, fast car. I've got some stats. It's a 3-litre straight six. Cool. You don't really see straight sixes that often anymore. Is that
naturally aspirated or?
It's not. It's a turbo.
Ooh, okay.
It produces 340 horsepower, which will propel you from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds.
3.8?
Yeah.
That's like...
Which is like nearly supercar fast.
I mean 10 years ago, that was supercar fast. That was like... Yeah. That's like Ferrari 430 fast.
That is very
that's
impressive,
insane.
Yeah. And it's 14 kilograms lighter than the original Supra.
Okay.
So it's light, which is quite impressive considering that these days with safety and stuff,
cars usually get heavier.
Yeah, but that's got lighter, a tiny bit lighter, not a lot lighter, but still
it's better.
But yeah, so it's quick.
It's really quick. It's
gonna cost £52,000, which for a car that does 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds,
it's not a lot.
Is actually not bad.
I mean, if you try and get yourself a used Ferrari, you're looking at twice that for equivalent performance.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, definitely. And you're getting a brand new car.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they've made it more. I mean, the old Supra was, now it's quite expensive, but at the time, it was slightly more of a consumer car, if I remember correctly.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Not that either of us were really
alive.
Into...
well, we were alive, but we weren't really into cars at that point.
But I reckon it's kind of filling a gap in the market because there aren't a lot of cars at that price point in a way.
No.
Like you either go from like you kind of Mazda MX-5s or Toyota GT86s, and maybe a Z4 or whatever up to. I mean, there's kind of a big gap to something like a 911 or an F-Type.
Yeah, definitely. This definitely seems to be filling that gap because that, like I said, it's a lot of speed for that price.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's a nice kind of middle ground of fast but not mega expensive, but still a good car.
Inadvertently, I mentioned the Z4 there, which interestingly shares a lot with the new Toyota Supra. I think they're actually co-developed by BMW and Toyota. Okay. So that's interesting.
A European-Asian collaboration. Yeah. That's cool because that's the new Z4. Is it out or is it coming out soon? I think we spoke about it in one of the ones.
I think it's just out.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That also looks amazing.
Looks great.
Yeah. Don't think it's as quick as this though.
I doubt it. No. That's very, very fast.
I've also got some stats of the original Supra to compare. It was a twin turbo straight six, the original.
Oh, really?
And it had 326 horsepower, so a little bit less, but did 0 to 60 in 4.9.
That's still very fast.
Still very fast,
very,
especially
very
for
fast.
that age. So actually, they've kind of stuck with what it always was, which was
great,
damn fast for the money, basically.
Yeah, nice.
There's going to be, I think, 300 coming to the UK, which isn't a lot.
It's really not a lot. In a way, that's kind of cool because if you buy one, then you're not going to see a lot of them around.
No, if you own one, you're part of a pretty exclusive club.
It's part of a pretty exclusive club. I wonder if they've kind of done that deliberately to keep like the second-hand values high and kind of keep it a kind of cool, not unattainable, but kind of desirable thing. Because if you like make thousands and thousands of something, then they all depreciate really quickly, and then anyone can buy them.
I mean, there's only 900 coming to Europe initially,
really,
which means that a third of them are coming to the UK. So there's quite a lot proportional to the ones that are coming to Europe. There's quite a lot coming to the UK, but still 900 Supras in Europe initially.
Is that like is that just the initial production run?
I think that's just the initial production run, but on the actual Toyota website it says 300 UK owners, which implies that there's not going to be any more coming soon.
No, maybe they're just not ready to produce that many, because I mean they've been saying it's been like ready to produce for the last 2 years. I think they've been like constantly teasing a new Toyota.
There's been a lot of hype about it. But there has been a little bit of a scandal in the UK with this not scandal, but it's not quite that bad. But it's so the A90 edition of the GT86, the Supra, is, I think it's pretty much the same, apart from it's matte grey.
Okay.
And it has maybe a few styling differences. And there's only going to be 24 coming to the UK. And they have been over-ordered due to a glitch in the system. And more than 24 people have been promised them.
That's awkward.
Yeah. So Toyota have had to email some poor people in the UK and said, I'm really sorry.
Imagine being that.
But you can't have that version.
Imagine being that person who's saved up I presume a little bit, 56,000 for your Toyota, your brand new Toyota Supra. That's like a life savings for probably most
normal
people.
And
then being told you can't have it.
You can't have the one of 24. You have to have one of 300, which is still quite exclusive, but a lot less.
But to be fair, I mean, if it's mostly cosmetic differences, there's bound to be places that are already like tooling up to be able to turn your normal Supra into a A90 edition
version. So that is I'm quite excited, because I was about to say I'm excited to see them on the road, but I'm excited about the fact that if you did see one on the road, it would be a rare sighting. I like that.
So that's interesting, because I mean, for that kind of performance, like I said, you're essentially kind of stuck with that or an older supercar. But an older supercar is probably going to be more common than
you're right.
one of 300 Toyota Supras.
That's quite
so you're buying like crazy performance and exclusivity.
Which
absolutely. Is kind of awesome.
I think it's a great little package.
Next up on this week's Motoring Madness, we've got something that I saw on YouTube, actually, weirdly enough. It was someone did a video on it, and it was this cool technology that was debuted at the SEMA car show in the States. It's like a massive trade show for modifying cars.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It's really cool.
I've heard of it.
All sorts of really crazy stuff. It's mostly like typically American, massively overpowered, chromed up muscle cars.
Okay.
But there's also some cool stuff in there, like this. This thing is called...
Are you implying chromed up muscle cars aren't cool?
They're cool. I'm saying they're not the most original.
No, you're right. That was a joke.
This thing here is called the Orbis Ring-Drive.
It's not a car.
It's not a car. It's an add-on
for your car. Of like a specific modification that someone's...
like steroids for your car.
Yeah.
But in a great way.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. What it is this... it's just like a set of rear wheels that you bolt onto your car. You take off your old wheels and you put these on. But they've got...
four wheels at the back.
Yeah, that's the one, No, and they've got built-in electric motors.
Very cool.
So you can turn your front-wheel drive car into a four-wheel drive hybrid.
Without having to buy a P1.
Yes. Without spending £1 million on a P1 that you can't buy because they're all sold.
Yeah.
So it's some really cool tech. I'm just going to look at my spec sheet here. They made a kind of demo car out of a Honda Civic Type R, which usually has 350 horsepower.
Yeah, something like that.
And they added these two rear wheels that have 50 horsepower each. There's an extra 100 horsepower.
That's mad.
So you've got a 450 horsepower all-wheel drive Civic Type R.
Type R. That is so cool.
There's a video of it doing a flying start.
That's great. So how does it integrate it? How does it work? Like the rear wheels and the front wheels working together? How does that?
Apparently, it literally kind of senses what the front wheels are doing, which is obviously connected to your throttle input, and copies it at the rear wheels.
Okay. Is that is it plugged into the ECU, or does it just do that naturally using like sensing the speed that the wheels are moving?
I think it literally just senses the speed. I could be wrong, but as I understand it, that's how it works.
That's very clever.
So you get like mad extra speed, essentially. You can run it in 4-wheel drive with your original internal combustion engine and your new electric engines at the back.
Yeah.
You can run it in traditional front-wheel drive like you always have, or you can run it in full electric mode, rear-wheel drive.
You can run it in full electric. Would you not have to turn your ignition off for that, which means you wouldn't have steering or brakes?
I don't understand entirely how it works. Well, maybe it does hook up to the ECU then.
Yeah, because it could keep not the engine running, but keep the ignition on whilst...
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's very new.
Yeah.
But...
it's a very exciting concept, though.
It's very exciting. So you could run any car... Yeah. Any front-wheel drive car, you could convert it to these and have an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Zero running costs.
I mean, there's two reasons it's exciting. One, to make existing cars faster, for speed and performance. So, like, to turn, you could buy a second-hand, I don't know, something with a bit of power, add that to it, and you've got a four-wheel drive. You could do it instead of turbocharging a car eventually if it becomes a cheaper thing to do.
Yeah.
Because just to add more power. The other exciting thing is if we run out of petrol, you don't have to go out and buy a brand new electric car.
Yeah, exactly.
You can buy any car from a scrap heap, stick those on it,
and you've got an electric car.
You could have the engine taken out the front if you needed to. So you'd have a really light electric car with mad power.
You could put your batteries there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good point because, for instance, with my beautiful Ford Puma that I drive these days.
Lovely whip.
123 horsepower, straight to the front wheels. You could get two of... I should say, they come in 50 horsepower, 75 horsepower, and 100 horsepower versions.
So you could get 200 extra horsepower.
I could stick 200 horsepower on my rear wheels and have a 323 horsepower four-wheel drive Ford Puma.
What an awesome concept.
Is that not the best thing you've ever thought of, ever?
That's so much better than whapping a supercharger or a turbocharger on your car.
It is slightly more expensive than
I would imagine it probably is.
At the moment, it's only available for pre-order. It's not actually in production yet.
Okay.
And for two 50 horsepower motors, which is what they put on their Civic prototype, it does cost $10,000.
For both?
Yeah, for both.
Okay.
It's not insane.
It's not insane. And realistically, it's the first time they're doing it. It's the first time it's been done. Like, it will get cheaper if it is successful and they keep making them and make them more efficient. I presume that's without batteries as well.
That is without batteries, yeah. You have to... I mean, I think they will source a battery for you, but you can find the battery out of like an old Nissan Leaf or a Prius, or if you've got money, then a Tesla.
Yeah. That's what I love about it is this whole thing about in the future, if it becomes cheaper, buying a car from a scrap heap, sticking these on them, like the batteries you can get from a scrap heap as well.
Yeah.
Because so realistically, the only thing you're actually paying a lot of money for is these motors. So they could be the answer. To our fuel issues.
I think it's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Very exciting concept, definitely. For our final little segment in today's Motoring Madness, we thought we'd talk about the Mongol Rally. Now, don't kind of shoot us yet, because I know we talk about the Mongol Rally quite a lot, and quite a lot of people we know take the mickey out of us because we talk about it all the time.
Oh my God, did you go to Mongolia, George?
Yeah, it's like the classic gap year people that don't stop talking about their gap year travels. But actually, it's quite exciting. My mum and my aunt are doing the Mongol Rally this year, 2019.
That's very brave of them.
I know.
And maybe a little bit
crazy.
Yeah, but awesome. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage it greatly.
Oh, 100%.
Do the rally if you can do it.
I mean, the tagline of the rally is motoring stupidity on a global scale.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got to be stupid.
You've got to get into that mindset. It's great.
Absolutely. But I'm very excited for them. They're cool. My surname is Lun, and their team name, I'm quite proud of this, Ulaanbaatar.
Just to clarify, Ulaanbaatar is the capital of Mongolia.
Ulaanbaatar is the capital of Mongolia.
So it's a pun.
Play on words there. But yeah, it's exciting. They're looking at getting a car soon. They've asked us to help them, as we are rally veterans ourselves, to help them buy a car, to help them kind of promote it and give them some tips and tricks on like how to survive out there, and visas, all sorts of complicated stuff that they've got to get sorted in the next kind of 5 months. So
So it's a fun time to be alive in the VW Surfwagon camp.
Yeah, it is.
Have there any thoughts about what car they're taking?
Yeah, so they've actually asked us to go and pick them a car up for them next weekend.
Ooh.
Excitingly. And we're kind of thinking, for us, we took the risk and took a German car. We are VW Surfwagon after all.
Oh, that's why we took a VW.
We took a VW Polo, which the reason that's a bit of a risk is because if it breaks down once you're out in Mongolia, in the middle of Asia, they don't have a lot of spare parts for them. And by that, I mean they have no spare parts. So you really want a Japanese or Korean car, probably.
Yeah.
More Japanese, I'd say.
Yeah, they're just more popular in that part of the world.
They have a lot of them over there. Lots of rally teams take them, so there's leftover parts from previous rallies.
Just leftover micros on the side of the road.
Exactly. So we're thinking the main three, Toyota Yaris, the sort of early noughties ones. Nissan Micra, because that is a classic Mongol Rally car. Lots of people take them. They always seem to make it, and there's a lot of spare parts for them out there. And Suzuki Swift, which I think is the coolest of the three.
I'm
Not
actually
that
just
any of them are that cool.
I'm actually just finding the ad for a Suzuki Swift that I found.
Oh yeah.
And it looks great. I found one, right? It says it's from 2012. It's not. It's
definitely not.
It's a V-Reg, whenever that is, so it's 90s at some point. 1.3, so it's on the larger size of
the rally,
engine capacity, but it's all right.
We'll overlook that because it's two women in the middle age, so we'll let them off.
Half our audience disappears. So it's done 37,000 miles, which is like nothing.
That's extremely low mileage for a 90s car.
12 months MOT. It says it's automatic, but it's not. It's a manual. And it's only £545.
That is an amazing deal, by the sounds of it, for a 2012 automatic. No, that's very cool. I think that a Swift or a Micro or something would be great. I do like Swifts. Of all three, I think they're the coolest.
I think they're the coolest. They're called Swift.
Yeah,
like Taylor.
Yeah, Suzuki Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
and not that any of those three cars are like cool, but of the three, the Swift is.
I mean,
cool.
If you really want to go even cooler than a Suzuki Swift,
wow! What are you going to do? How do you get cooler than a Swift, David?
Well, if you can find one in a Subaru Justy 4x4, which is I think it's based on the same thing as a Swift.
Pretty much is the same thing.
I think just four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive,
but there's almost none for sale.
And they're quite expensive when you do get them. I saw one in Stroud the other day.
Really?
Yeah,
crazy.
Guy that works at Halfords in Stroud owns one. So if you're listening, guy from Halfords in Stroud, I'm really sorry that I accidentally called it a Swift and you had a go at me.
Fair play.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of agreed that Suzuki Swift is where it's at, but we'll have to see.
But we'll have to see, and we'll have to wish them luck and kind of help them out, and hopefully they'll be able to do it. And they're raising some money for some cool charities. So I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. They're raising money for some great charities. Cool Earth, which is the Adventurous Partner charity, which helps Indigenous people in the rainforest take back land, and University College London hospitals to raise money for people that are getting care there with the NHS.
Awesome. Good for them.
So, go and donate if you can, because it's quite impressive, really.
It's very impressive.
Cool.
I'm jealous, I'll be honest.
I'm really jealous. I want to go back to Mongolia. It was great. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to or watching this month's Motoring Madness. Thank you, David, for joining me.
No, thank you very much for having me, George.
If you're on Carinium Radio listening to this, then go check us out on YouTube. It's youtube.com/VW Surfwagon. Go and subscribe and check out our other videos. If you're watching this on YouTube, then go check out Carinium Radio and have a listen to some of our previous shows that are available for listen again on there.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. Thanks very much. We'll see you next month.
See ya.
Wicked.